Michael Storm, anarchist of comic books, co-owner of Amazing Fantasies comic book shop here in Topeka, Kansas, and I am here. It's Tuesday night. I am putting out the new books for Wednesday, August 26th, so let's get right on over there and take a look. And while we're doing that, while we get there, take a moment and click that like button. It's one of the biggest things that you can do to support us. Start off with the absolute best, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Catwoman. These stories continue, and I just got to get right over in here into the new and interesting stuff that piques the interest of people yet, as opposed to these things that presumably everybody's caught on by now. If not, I mean, it's still a little early on, but if you're not on this one by now, come on. Batman Bad Seeds Sunset, it's the first part of this whole Bad Seeds run, and you've got Mayor Ivy. She is she's battling against the Vandal Savage, who is running the police force. He's a commissioner of the police force, and well, it's a big messed up world. The Parliament of Trees is involved, and they're not happy with things that Ivy has done, and it's just a kickoff to a great big story. In fact, there's a whole bunch of new stuff right in here. It's not just these guys right here. Black Tower, we'll talk about that in a minute. One Shot too, but there's new Zatanna, there's new Poison Ivy, and this actually is a little bit of a prelude to the Bad Seeds thing. So if you're looking to try to pick up on all of that, Ringmaster is revealed finally in Harley. Detective Comics is another one. This is the conclusion of this story that's been running with Black Canary and Green Arrow there for a bit, and then the final part of Avengers and JLA, the amazing, just this classic story, and they did this facsimile reprint of it, and we have these pretty shiny ones if you like a shiny one, or there's a blank one if you want to draw your own. They did a different cover, Alex Ross cover, just for the series, and so you just can't go wrong no matter where you go in there. All the absolute stuff is up there. What we have is pretty much it. But this Black Tower, this is a fun one. We have werewolves, we have people turning into ravens, we have people that we don't know exactly how old they are and how long they've been around. One Shot, Deadshot, he knows too much. Look, it says so right there on the cover, and he's going to have to see if he make it through this. He really only has one shot to survive. Look, it's all in the taglines. I mean, if I have to tell you any more than that to convince you to pick up a Deadshot story, it's a good read. I enjoyed it. Catwoman, Clayface, my last one of those. Flash is new. Justice League Unlimited is new. Superman is new, and it's one of the covers this week that gets a Stuart Fails to Save the Universe cover. There's not a ton of them, but there's a couple of them running around. Black Cat, speaking of covers, this one's up here because this is another one of the 60th anniversary, 60 years of Mary Jane, and just another fantastic cover, as all the Black Cat covers are. Look at that. Isn't that great? You can't go wrong with any of these, really. And you go back an issue or two, that Adam Hughes cover. Gambit Wanted #2. Godzilla Conquers the Multiverse #2. Predator versus Planet of Apes #2. I have a #1. I don't have any more #1s. I have one more #1. Tomb of Apocalypse, brand new. Wolverine and Jubilee end up literally falling into the Tomb of Apocalypse on accident. Maybe not. Maybe Apocalypse had a little something to do with it. You know, he's always looking for the type of energy that Jubilee emits. What if? I left this up here. I know this is last week's What If. I left it up here because What If X-Men didn't make it to the shelf. It went into polls, every single copy of it. Brand new X-Men, part of the DNX story. I still have some #1s of Fire and Brimstone, that Spider-Man Hulk story where basically Hulk is, he goes to hell. Rocket Raccoon Rewind, there's just one more of those left. Wait, two. Sorry, couple of those left yet. And it's still swimsuit season. We have the last of it. That's it. Out of literally hundreds of copies over the last 2 years. This is it. That's the end of the swimsuit stuff. Couple of bundles, some of the snap stuff, that's new. Some of the regular stuff as well. Couple of these other guys, including Street Fighter and Shantae. And then this was new, this Archie. Some more of the 85th anniversary of Archie, and they're doing these fashion pages. You got Betty and Veronica's fashion pages, and just some great covers in there, as well as the swimsuit ones as well. All part of that 85th anniversary that's going on there, celebrating Venom. Unchained #2, that's in there, part of the Queen in Black storyline. Wolverine is new as well. And speaking of new stuff, it's all over right here. Every week, it's all new stuff. So just a couple of these top ones up here within the last week, 2 weeks at most, but they're all #1s. They're all easily accessible, something to jump right into. And then starting right here with this one, Denver. And these are all brand new this week. All #1s. I'll tell you a little bit about that one. Of course I had to, because I'm from Denver, Colorado. Well, what would happen to the world if that whole climate apocalypse took over? We'll never know, because an asteroid hits and it puts everything underwater, everything below 5,000 feet underwater. So Denver is 5,280 feet, so it's 280 feet, less than a football field's length away from the water in Denver. And so most of the world is little sort of islands above 5,000 feet, mountaintops and peaks and that sort of thing. Greatest American Hero #2. We do still have a couple of #1s, including they did another re-release of the #1 with the homage to Action Comics #1. They had to recall it. I don't know why. I'm not sure what it was about. I never looked into it, but they did reprint them and send some new ones out, and that's obviously an homage to Spider-Man right there. Hammer Fist, that's pretty fun. Mike's not a really good guy, but he gets a name, and he assumes that the name deserves what they get, and then he stumbles into this little deal where it's maybe a little too good to be true, and while he doesn't get paid in the end, I'll tell you, his hand was normal when he was going in, so he gets a little something out of it. Brand new Hellraiser. There's a number of Hellraiser titles coming over the next few weeks and months. Hack Slash, Mercy Sparks, A Slice of Hell, a little bit of a team up there for the 25th anniversary of Devil's Due. Mask, Origins, this is fun. So they're really getting all this. I'm getting there. It's just right there. It's only one more book away. They're starting to tell the origins of each of the drivers in the Mask group and the Mobile Armored Strike Command. And yep, there's Hound, and that's Clutch, and they end up bumping heads, and ultimately they end up having to take Hound back to the garage, the Mask garage, to get some repairs, and the story goes from there. So there's the big one this week in the indies, right? Skybound, everybody. But some people have been waiting for this for years, quite literally many, many years, although Rom has had a hit here and there, a title here and there over the last few years for sure. This is the final introduction into the rest of this Energon universe. I mean, it's tied right in. There's the question, even though there's a question about Rom and what he's been up to, and why he's not in such great shape, and why he really doesn't know what it is, what powers that he has or what he controls. You definitely find out right away that they're in that Energon universe. Brand new Santos Sisters, and I just want to point this out just because Flaming Carrot. Stuff of Nightmares. This is brand new R.L. Stine. This is this continuing series. This one's called The Cat in the Coffin. I believe it's just a one-shot. It certainly was a complete story. It was a fun read. It's I think Crypt Keeper. And that's what you're getting in here. You get a guy that's sort of talking you through the story, walking you through the story, and it's stories of people getting their comeuppance, and you know, just in the end, what's due them. Street Fighter Masters. This one's Ken, and let's see, did this one? No, it didn't make it. So it didn't make it. This is another one of these pull things. They had this fantastic Barbie cover. It went into somebody's pull. It was, you know, a Ken doll, but yeah, it was perfect. Walk, Total destruction. This is just fantastic art and a great storytelling. Witchblade versus Vampirilla. This is a one-shot. What would happen if Sarah were bit by a vampire? We'll read the book and you'll find out. Gun Honey doubles down. Number 3, still one of the best stories in comic books right now. Supermondo Mega Mutts gets a number 2, another homage to the Turtles, and there's a shiny one if you like the shiny one, and a couple other covers as well. And then I still have number 1, and get used to that cover because you're going to see it a few more times before the end of this video here. Terminal number 2 is out. They also threw in a couple of different number 1s as well, so we got 1s and 2s. Tessena is still up there. Warriors, let's see what else was new here. Oh, yep, there we go. We get a facsimile of G.I. Joe number 109, including a shiny one, or this really cool cover there. Just they do, it's inside the comic book is just like the original A Real American Hero number 109, but that cover is just a new cover, and it's really, really cool. And there's the rest of the Void Rivals, Energon Universe, Transformers, Mask stuff if you're looking for those. And I told you to get used to this. There's a couple of new things floating around in here if you want to check out what's new, what's coming up, including some more information on Midnight. And I still have some of these to give away. This breaks these stories for you, and relatively important, of course. All right, so I told you to get used to the Turtles picture because you're going to see it a couple more times. It's true. Look at this. This is great. This is so wonderful. It certainly is for me, a nice and shiny one. So if you're confused here, let's see. Let's grab one. Well, this is normal size here. So there you go. It's the first time they've done a true facsimile edition of Turtles of the number 1 from 1984 since the third printing. The third printing was the last one that they did. And they've even taken some liberties here. They made the picture bigger. This picture should be the exact same size as a regular, current, modern comic book. And then the comic book itself, the whole book itself, is Golden Age size. But they bumped it up just a little bit to fill in a little bit more of this gap right here, because otherwise there's be about that much gap in there. But other than that, it's a facsimile, and it is the first one that they've done that's been true to the original for a long time. They did the 6th printing. By the 4th printing, they were doing color covers, and it was down to normal size. And by the 6th printing, they went back to this oversized, but they did it in a deluxe. So it's this big, thick thing with a whole bunch of extra stuff in it as well. So again, the true one, and then a shiny one after all these years, finally a nice shiny Turtles cover. Because they didn't do that sort of nonsense back in the 80s, but they'll certainly do that nonsense now. A last little note on the Turtles here. It's Turtles Heaven up here on the counter. We have these complete editions of both Last Ronin and Last Ronin Lost Years, and that just about sums it up for the day. Guys, there was a bunch of stuff that just didn't get to the pull, or didn't get out to the shelf this week, and it only went straight into pulls, and I just can't iterate enough how important it is if you want to get those books, if you want to be sure to get those hot Batman issues. What about those Catwoman issues, Bad Seeds, all those storylines coming up? You got to let us know. You got to get them on your pull. Because when you get here tomorrow, these things may or may not be here when you get here.